It's so funny, that was Beyonce that we came out to, and everybody can't be Beyonce when they come out. Like,
what do you mean?
'Cause everything you know, like I was trying to shake it and everything just kind of shifted over.
That's why she's Beyonce.
In the back of the head? Oh my God.
It's crooked. Oh, my God.
Welcome to The View. As you can see, Barbara is not here and Elizabeth isn't here. She's in Florida on family business, and Barbara is in Argentina.
Yes.
So sitting in as our special guest co-host is John McCain's daughter and contributor to the dailybeast.com, Meghan McCain. Welcome.
Thank you.
So, you're a tweeter, and you wrote a blog on the Daily Beast about having a problem with Karl Rove being on Twitter. Is it Twitter or Tweeter?
Twitter, yeah.
To tweet is the verb. Twitter is the noun.
And twoted is when you have tweeted.
Quoted is the past tense of a verb.
Yes, and it's the Twitter sphere.
The Twitter sphere.
I know. I know.
As my eyes glaze over. No. So what is it about?
I wrote a post about how Karl Rove following me on Twitter was creepy, and it was more of a metaphor for Karl Rove trying to be sort of the spokesperson for the Republican Party right now.
Right.
And it was basically saying him Twittering is not going to make young people, you know, come to the Republican Party, and I don't think any person my age is going to think that's cool. And the DNC actually just did an ad, and it has Karl Rove and Newt Gingrich and Dick Cheney as the new faces of the Republican Party.
Oh my God, how scary.
Well, I mean, it's hard for people like me that really want new energy and new blood it's very unprecedented for someone like Karl Rove or Dick Cheney to be criticizing the president. It's very unprecedented. Former vice president, you know, obviously, you know, Karl Rove, and I just, you know, my big criticism is just, you know, you had your 8 years, go away.
Do they feel like by doing something as hip as, you know, tweeting that you're going to fool young people?
I mean, I don't understand. 81% of people under 30 consider themselves a Democrat, so I just don't understand how Karl Rove Twittering is at all going to bring people to the Republican. 81%. It's a sad stat. I hope to be a person that can help change that, and I do believe the Republican Party has a lot of potential, but I don't think Karl Rove is going to be the catalyst for
Let
that.
me ask you, who do you see? Because, you know, they keep showing all these old dudes. You know, what's his name? Rush Limbaugh. He's the face of the Republican Party. They show Karl Rove or any of these other folks. Who do you see on the horizon, maybe, as a real person to look to, as someone who actually might have something to say that is meaningful?
Well, I did an interview with Congressman Aaron Schock, who's well known for his abs on TMZ. I don't know if anyone knows that, but he's very smart. And I asked him, I said, what do you think about people like me that may be a little bit more moderate? And he said, we should become an umbrella party. And there's this really amazing quote that Christy Todd Whitman said. She said, to the conservative right, I'm not saying there's not a place for you. Don't say there's a place. There's not a place for me. And that's how I feel. It's not that there's not a place for the conservative right. Just stop saying that I don't have a place in the Republican Party.
And then what about I mean, they have Michael Steele as the chair of the RNC, but really, it's really truly a lack of diversity within the Republican Party.
It is, and that's why I just spoke at the Log Cabin Convention, which is, you know, gay Republicans, and I think we have to branch out, or the Republican Party will become obsolete. It's just fact.
Did you think it was a little odd when Mr. Steele got the job? Did you think it was a little?
His name had been thrown around. I actually was unfamiliar with him, but his name had been thrown around. It wasn't a complete surprise.
But he had lost so many times before. I think he had run, and it just seemed kind of. You know, it just seemed kind of weird that all of a sudden, you know, he became...
So Meghan, you would like to see the Republican Party be pro-choice, I take it?
No, I'm pro-life.
Not pro-choice.
I'm pro-gay marriage.
Pro-gay marriage.
I would. I was very disappointed that Mayor Giuliani came out, you know, against. I just think that right now there's...
Giuliani did with his 14 marriages?
Yeah, and he lived with somebody. His personality was gay. He lived with 2 gay men for a minute.
Okay, what else?
Yeah.
He's not gay, so...
No.
Yeah, right.
I just wish they would be open to more moderate ideals.
More inclusive.
Kidding.
Yes.
More inclusive.
There can't be an admissions test to join the Republican Party, and you can't, when you're saying things like Meghan should be thrown out of the Republican Party, what message are you sending?
Who said that?
Oh, people on the internet. Just Google me. Good Lord.
That's all right. You don't pay attention to that.
Well, let me ask you, because yesterday we were talking about President Obama opening up the possibility of prosecution for some of those who okayed terrorist interrogation techniques, like waterboarding. Now, how do you feel about it? Because you are the closest person to, I think, anyone in this room that might actually be able to give us a real feel for it.
Let me tell you something. When I was little and growing up, I could not ride a bike with my dad because he can't bend his knee. He can't bend his knee because he was tortured in prison. He is anti-torture. He was tortured for 5.5 years. I am anti-torture because he is anti-torture, and I think he's the best person to say that.
What about some people?
That's right.
Richard.
Well, listen to him.
What about some people feel like there is some good that comes out of, the bad, the good outweighs some of the bad.
I think it's what separates us from the terrorists. We can't act like animals. We can't do,
Animals don't torture each other.
Yeah, but some of these people, some of these people who feel like, when I get to heaven, I'm going to have 70 virgins. You can't take them to Pinkberry and go, let's sit down and just talk about this.
I agree. I agree with you. I don't know I do not know what the answer is, but I know that, like I said, my father was tortured, and I think he knows better than anyone.
And I also think that, I know that this is unpopular, but I do believe that you have to, as I said yesterday, we've been at war with lots of different countries around the world with whom we are friends now. And I think that one of the things that we have to always remember is who we are as Americans. Because, once you travel that path, it's very tricky, I think. It's very tricky.
And then how much can you torture? What's not torture? Waterboarding's okay.
This country has never done that before until the Bush administration and 9/11, obviously. Well, that's what they're saying, that we've never done it before. And it's interesting what's going on. It's like the left of the country wants law and order. Let's prosecute them. Let's get it all out there. The right wing, all of a sudden, is laissez-faire, live and let live. All of a sudden, I'm not worried. Yeah, and the middle is like, why do we have to keep watching Cheney and Roe? That's real torture. So the country is interesting where it's at right now.
It's a very interesting place. Like I said, it's interesting when someone like me in the Republican Party is controversial, when I believe this party was an umbrella party in the days of Goldwater and Reagan, and I really think there's this movement going on to take it back. And I'm trying to. God knows I'm trying to, and there are just people that are, I don't understand why you have such a problem with being an umbrella party. Why? Why?
Stuck in their ways?
Wasn't
the party hijacked by the religious right for a while, and I think that they're still coming out of that foxhole?
I don't think it's necessarily the religious right. I think politics has become entertainment in a sort of way. There's a lot of people that make a living off of politics, but it's entertainment. I think that has more set. Not with you guys at all.
But now, speaking of what I thought was entertaining, please tell us about your mom, because she says she's ready to add some little McCains to the mix, and you had an interesting response.
So I'm at home, I'm watching John and Kate +8 with my mom, and she's like, totally, and I'm like addicted to the show in a really weird way, and she goes, you know what, I'm ready for grandkids. And I was like, call Jack or Jimmy, because I actually don't want kids at all. So I know.
Good for you.
I don't, and I was like, you're gonna have to wait. But all of a sudden, there's this big announcement. She's like, I'm ready for grandkids. I was like, well,
how old are Jack and Jim?
My brothers are 22 and 21.
Oh, they're not ready.
But do you think maybe you'll change your mind?
I don't, you change your mind about different things in life, but I really want the career I always wanted, and I'm, writing a book, and I just can't even conceive of having children.
You got time, enjoy your life, pursue your interests, because once you have kids, it's a lot of self-sacrifice. You don't get to do nothing.
And also, don't forget, just before we go, I'll tell you a quick story. There is a lady out of Scarsdale here who has 2 kids who irritated her so badly. And this is a well-educated, smart woman. She was so irritated, she put the kids out of the car. Okay?
She looks
crazy. This is what can happen. But this is what can happen. I'm just saying.
Are we going now?
I think it's abusive what she did.
No.
We'll be back with more Hot Topics.